Chapter 1. Who am I? It was full springtime, with promise of the richest summer the farm had ever seen. The orchard was white with fragrant blossoms. The newly planted fields lay light as green mist. Yet the sights and scents gave Taran little joy. To him, Caer Dallben was empty. Though he helped Carl with the weeding and cultivating, and tended the white pig, Henwen, with as much care as ever, he went about his tasks distractedly. One thought alone was in his mind.
"Now, my boy,"
Carl said good-naturedly, as they finished the morning's milking.
"I've seen you restless as a wolf on a tether ever since you came back from the Isle of Mona. Pine for the Princess Eilonwy if you must, but don't upset the milk pail."
The stout old warrior clapped Taran on the shoulder.
"Come, cheer up. I'll teach you the high secrets of planting turnips, or raising cabbages, or whatever you might want to know."
Taran shook his head. "What I would know only Dallben can tell me."
"Take my counsel, then," said Carl. "Trouble Dallben with none of your questions. His thoughts are on deeper matters. Have patience, and bide your time."
Taran rose to his feet. "I can bide my time no longer. It is in my heart to speak with him now."
"Have a care,"
warned Carl as Taran strode to the door of the shed.
"His disposition rubs a little thin."
Taran made his way through the cluster of low-roofed farm buildings. In the cottage, at the hearthside, a black-robed woman crouched and tended the cooking fire. She did not raise her head or speak. It was Akron. Thwarted in her scheme to regain her ancient power from the ruined castle of Lear, the once haughty queen had accepted the refuge Dallben offered. Though, by her own choice, she who had long ago ruled Prydain toiled now at the tasks Eilonwy had done before departing for Mona, and at day's end silently vanished to her pallet of straw in the granary. Before Dallben's chamber, Taran paused uneasily, then rapped quickly on the door. Entering at the enchanter's command, he found Dallben bent over the Book of Three, which lay open on the cluttered table. Much as he longed for a glimpse at even one page of this secret volume, Taran kept his distance from it. Once, in boyhood, he dared touch the ancient leather-bound tome, and his fingers smarted again at the memory.
"I never cease to wonder," Dallben testily remarked, closing the Book of Three and glancing at Taran, "that the young, with all their pride of strength, should find their own concerns such a weighty burden they must be shared with the old. Whereas the old—" he waved a frail, bony hand. "But no matter, no matter. For the sake of my temper, I hope your purpose in interrupting me is an excellent one. First, before you ask," Dallben went on, "I assure you the Princess Eilonwy is well, and no more unhappy than any pretty young madcap obliged to turn a hand to sewing instead of swordplay. Second, you are as aware as I am that Cor has not yet returned. By now, I dare say he has borne my potion to Glue's cavern, and the giant, by accident, who troubled you so much on Mona, will shrink to the small stature he once had. But you also know your crow for a rascal, and one to linger wherever he finds sport. Finally, an assistant pig-keeper should have tasks enough to busy himself outdoors. What then brings you here?"
"One thing only," Taran said. "All that I have I owe to your kindness. You have given me a home and a name, and let me live as a son in your household. Yet who am I, in truth? Who are my parents? You have taught me much, but kept this always from me."
"Since it has been always thus," Dallben replied, "why should it trouble you now?"
When Taran bowed his head and did not answer, the old enchanter smiled shrewdly at him.
"Speak up, my boy. If you want truth, you should begin by giving it. Behind your question, I think I see the shadow of a certain golden-haired princess. Is that not so?"
Taran's face flushed. "It is so," he murmured. He raised his eyes to meet Dallben's. When Eilonwy returns, it is in my heart to ask her to wed. But this I cannot do, he burst out. This I will not do until I learn who I am. An unknown foundling with a borrowed name cannot ask for the hand of a princess. What is my parentage? I cannot rest until I know. Am I lowly born or nobly?
To my mind, Dalban said softly, the latter would please you better.
It would be my hope, Taran admitted, a little abashed. But no matter. If there is honour, yes, let me share it. If there is shame, let me face it.
It takes as much strength of heart to share the one as to face the other, Dalban replied gently.
He turned his careworn face to Taran.
But alas, he said, what you ask I may not answer. Prince Gwydion knows no more than I, he went on, sensing Taran's thought. Nor can the High King Math help you.
Then let me learn for myself, Taran cried. Give me leave to seek my own answer. Dalban studied him carefully. The enchanter's eyes fell on the Book of Three, and he gazed long at it, as though his glance penetrated deep into the worn leather volume.
Once the apple is ripe, he murmured to himself, no man can turn it back to a greening.
His voice grew heavy with sorrow as he said to Taran,
Is this indeed your wish?
Taran's heart quickened. I ask nothing more. Dalban nodded.
So it must be. Journey then wherever you choose. Learn what lies in your power to learn.
You have all my thanks, Taran cried joyfully, bowing deeply. Let me start without delay. I am ready. Before he could finish, the door burst open, and a shaggy figure sped across the chamber and flung itself at Taran's feet. No, 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 howled Gurgi at the top of his voice, rocking back and forth and waving his hairy arms.
Sharp-eared Gurgi hears all. Oh yes, with listenings behind the door.
His face wrinkled in misery, and he shook his matted head so violently he nearly sprawled flat on the floor.
Poor Gurgi will be lone and lorn, with whinings and pinings, he moaned. Oh, he must go with master. Yes, yes.
Taran put a hand on Gurgi's shoulder. It would sadden me to leave you, old friend, but my road, I fear, may be a long one.
Faithful Gurgi will follow, pleaded Gurgi. He is strong, bold, and clever to keep kindly master from harmful hurtings.
Gurgi began snuffling loudly, whimpering and moaning more desperately than before, and Taran, who could not bring himself to deny the unhappy creature, looked questioningly at Dalban. A strange glance of pity crossed the enchanter's face.
Gurgi's staunchness and good sense I do not doubt, he said to Taran, though before your search is ended, the comfort of his kindly heart may stand you in better stead. Yes, he added slowly, if Gurgi is willing, let him journey with you.
Gurgi gave a joyous yelp, and Taran bowed gratefully to the enchanter.
So be it, Dalban said. Your road, indeed, will not be easy, but set out on it as you choose. Though you may not find what you seek, you will surely return a little wiser, and perhaps even grown to manhood in your own right.
That night Taran lay restless. Dalban had agreed the two companions could depart in the morning, but for Taran the hours until sunrise weighed like the links of a heavy chain. A plan had formed in his mind, but he had said nothing of it to Dalban, Carl, or Gurgi, for he was half fearful of what he had decided. While his heart ached at the thought of leaving Caer Dalban, it ached the more with impatience to begin his journey, and it was as though his yearning for Eilonwy, the love he had often hidden or even denied, now swelled like a flood, driving him before it. Long before dawn, Taran rose and saddled the grey, silver-maned stallion, Melinlas, while Gurgi, blinking and yawning, readied his own mount, a short, stocky pony almost as shaggy as himself. Taran went alone to